term we need to discuss about is the knowledge acquisition. So the knowledge acquisition is the process used to define the rules and the ontologies. What do you understand by the ontologies? Ontologies are basically a formal framework that define and organize a knowledge within a specific domain. What they provide a structured way to represent the concepts and the relationships and the properties, enabling machine to understand and the reason with data more effectively. Think of them as a knowledge maps that define a domain's key concept and how they relate. So the ontologies in a AI, what we say, they are the formal representation, knowledge organization, knowledge sharing, reasoning, contextual understanding, data integration. And there can be various examples under the ontologies, the medical, the legal. So in the knowledge equation, we are talking about that. It is the process used to define the rules and the ontologies required for knowledge-based system. So the phrase was first used in the conjunction with the expert system to describe the initial task associated with developing an expert system, namely finding and interviewing domain experts and then capturing their knowledge with the rules, objects, and the frame-based ontologies. We have discussed all these terms in our third unit or in the second unit. So the expert systems were one of the first successful application of an artificial intelligence technology to real-world business problems. Researchers at the Stanford and the other AI laboratories worked with the doctors and the other highly skilled experts to develop a systems that could automate complex tasks such as a medical diagnosis. Until this point, computers had mostly been used to automate highly data-intensive tasks, but not for the complex reasoning. The system cannot reason, so the technologies uses and inference engines allowed developers for the first time to tackle more complex problems. Simply what we are saying that as our expert system scaled up from a demonstration prototypes, we had discussed yesterday about the prototypes, to the industrial strength applications, and it was soon realized that the acquisition of a domain expert knowledge was one of it, not the most critical task in the knowledge engineering processes. So this knowledge acquisition process became an intense area of research on its own. So one of the earliest work on the topic used Pakistani theories of learning to guide the process. So simply here, how the knowledge will be acquired, that is a main task here. One approach to the knowledge acquisition investigated was to use a natural language parsing. And in today's lecture only, we will discuss about the natural language processing also and the generation to facilitate the knowledge acquisition. The natural language parsing could be formed or performed on a manuals and the other expert documents and initial first pass at the rules and the objects could be developed automatically. We had talked about this, how the knowledge will be acquired in the expert system, how the knowledge base will be developed in the expert system based on the natural language parsing. What they use the natural language parsing to generate, which will help to generate the knowledge. The natural language parsing is used to perform or can be performed on the manuals and the other expert documents also, and an initial first pass at the rules and objects which could be developed automatically. Text generation was extremely useful in generating the explanations for a system behavior, and this greatly facilitated the development and the maintenance of an expert system. So a more recent approach of a knowledge acquisition we are talking about here is a reuse-based approach. Knowledge can be developed in the ontologies that conform to the standards such as the web ontology language, and in this way the knowledge can be standardized and can be shared across broad community of knowledge workers. So one example domain where it is has been used, where this approach has been successful is a bioinformatics. So we have talked about the expert system, the knowledge acquisition, the rule-based system software architecture also, and in the next slide, I'm changing the screen here. In that we will talk about the natural language processing.